Hello ladies and gents, it's EasyScape, and today is a big day in speedrunning history. 2 weeks ago, a top Super Mario 64 speedrunner Xiah went on a mission to be the first person to get the big house in the sky star, Carpetless, without the use of save states. Carpetless is a strategy used to get to the star at the top of the house without sitting through the tedious carpet ride. And while it's been known for several years, it has still never been viable for real speedruns, including individual levels. The first instance of someone achieving Carpetless was in a tool-assisted speedrun from 2009. This task abuses an oversight with Mario's forward air speed that allows Mario to build up speed as long as he doesn't touch the ground. He builds up this speed by using frame-perfect wall kicks until he's able to reach this pole. And as explained in Poniko's video about sliding speed and speed conversion, Mario has both a horizontal speed and a sliding speed. The horizontal speed being used for pretty much all parts of the game, and sliding speed only being active while Mario is sliding. When Mario grabs onto a pole, the game uses horizontal speed, which usually updates to 0 since you won't be moving horizontally when grabbing it. But whatever the sliding speed was before grabbing the pole won't update. If Mario is still grabbing the pole, climbs to the bottom of it, turns towards the house, and lets go of the pole, he can do a frame-perfect slide input right as he touches the ground. Since the sliding speed was preserved the entire time on the pole, it will become active once the slide begins. Then, by again, frame-perfect wall kicking within the house, Mario can conserve his speed and make his way to the top where the star is located. Not only was this wall kick method unviable for speedrunners to use because of its difficulty, it was actually slower than riding the carpet normally. But in 2010, BlazSoul 13 would finally have the first carpetless route that was actually faster than the carpet ride itself, using the same wall kick strategy. In 2012, a new 120 star task was posted with a new strategy to reach the star even quicker. This one makes use of the pink bomb so that Mario will talk to it after performing a backwards long jump. This allows Mario to convert his backward speed from the BLJ to forward speed. Then just like the 2009 and 2010 tasks, they grab the pole, aim for the house, and wall kick to the star. This strategy would again not be viable because of all the required frame perfect wall kicks, perfect stick movement, and perfect BLJ speed redirection and speed conservation. Alright, now onto the third strategy. This was discovered in a 120 star task created back in 2013 of a version of the game without BLJs, and is the same strategy used by Xiah in his carpetless attempt. The first objective is to get to the bomb on the ship as fast as possible. After platforming up to the ship, Mario grabs the closest bomb. Under normal circumstances, this bomb will drop out of Mario's hands and explode just over 5 seconds after picking it up. Before the bomb can explode from its fuse, Mario throws it, causing the bomb to start to explode early. If Mario picks the bomb back up again before it explodes early, he can grab it when it is bloated, and it will go back to using the still running fuse to determine when to explode. When Mario holds a bloated bomb, the game thinks he is in the bomb's hitbox, so it pushes him backwards every frame. Xiah grabbed the bomb at its biggest state to get the maximum push. But eventually the fuse timer will expire, so something needs to be done to stop the bomb from dropping out of Mario's hands and exploding. This is done by intentionally dropping the bomb, side flipping and diving into it to grab it one last time, and then sliding off of a ledge while in the process of picking it up. This puts Mario in a state called hands-free, which allows him to move freely with the object still in front of him. And as long as Mario avoids walking, the bomb won't start to explode. Xiah ground pounded and jumped over the level geometry, using the continuous push from the bomb to push Mario all the way to the warp. Normally the game won't allow you to hold an item while going into a warp, but while holding an item in hands-free, the safeguard that blocks Mario from warping doesn't work. Even though Mario teleported, the bomb will keep following him and pushing it backwards. Because of the teleport though, Mario can't drop the bomb anymore unless he grabs it or kicks it away. This is called teleported bloated bomb, and there are quite a few movement options you can do while it's active that will be used for the actual jump to the top of the house. Everything I've explained up until this point is all the setup required for one attempt, and is comparably the easiest part of the trick itself. It is still difficult, but could realistically be performed in an actual speedrun with practice. The hard part of the trick is everything after the warp. Next, Mario has to jump to the 2 small platforms, side flip off the house, and perform 2 precise wall kicks with a perfect angle. If he ground pounds at the peak of the second wall kick, he will barely have enough height to make it on top of the house. To put it in perspective, the entire time Mario is doing these movements, he is constantly being pushed back by the bomb, and one little mistake means falling off of a platform. When Mario side flips, he is visually turned around from what his actual body position is and goes super fast forward to be able to make it to the corner of the house to do the first frame perfect wall kick. Since the Bob-omb is still pushing Mario, he moves backwards towards the other side of the house, which he then needs to perform another frame perfect wall kick. Then, like I said before, at the very top of the second wall kick, he will have just enough time to barely reach the top of the house, all while requiring very specific angles. Otherwise, Mario will clip through the house and fall inside. In Xiah's attempt, he purposely kicked right before grabbing the star to kick the invisible Bob-omb away to stop being pushed back because he was scared he might have not been able to grab the star at all. So altogether, this trick requires a difficult, lengthy setup into multiple frame perfect inputs, back to back, all while dealing with super wonky Bob-omb physics and absolutely no room for error. But if performed correctly, will save roughly 50 seconds off of the carpet ride. So while I think this would be a good enough explanation of why speedrunners wouldn't attempt to use this trick 10 minutes before the end of one of the most difficult speedrun categories there are, now that Xiah has performed the trick without save states, apparently that alone is enough to mean that this is viable for real speedruns. But this just isn't the case. At least not with the current strats. Think about it, this strat has existed for 6 years. In that time there have been only a handful of speedrunners to have ever been able to perform Carpetless, even with the use of save states, and no one had been able to do it without them, even after tons of attempts across the entire community. It has only been up until now that one of the best 0-star and individual level speedrunners, Xiah, after grinding the trick near continuously for the past 2 weeks, has been able to do it once. Just once. I've seen a lot of people making comparisons to the triple weather tanko in Mario Kart 64 on how it was also considered to not be viable, but eventually was grinded for months on end to be performed in an individual level run. And that's exactly what happened here. The trick was grinded and performed in an IL run. In full game runs, no one will ever go for the triple weather tanko, just like how no one will go for Carpetless. Also, there are plenty of easier tricks than Carpetless that currently aren't being used in runs. So please don't go to your favorite 120-star streamer's chat to ask why they aren't doing the trick, because now you know. I know Cheese did say that he would be learning how to do the trick eventually, but I'm assuming that is just to be able to try it out and not to actually use in runs unless he was already down significant time with nothing to lose. Maybe later down the road a new setup will be discovered to be more consistent, but Super Mario 64 is one of the most heavily researched speed games, and if there was an easier setup, then most likely it would have already been found. I guess it is worth mentioning that there is a $4,000 bounty for the 120-star world record, which will be over at the end of the year to whoever has a world record at the time. So if there was a time for someone to find an RTA viable setup, it would probably be now. As for the most recent Big House in the Sky task, it uses parallel universes in Super Mario 64 to reach a star, and it looks like this. Now, I am nowhere near qualified to talk about parallel universes and how they work, but if you do want to learn and haven't seen it already, I'll link Pon and Coke's Watch for Rolling Rock's half-a press commentary in the description, which should be more than enough to answer all of your questions. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like, as it's the best way to show support. I'd like to give a huge thanks to OneTed59, as he was a massive source of information for this video, and could not have been made without his help. He's a taster for SM64, and speedruns a couple of games on the side, so I'll be leaving his social media links below in the description. And also, thanks to GothicLogic for looking over the script. That's all I have to say. Subscribe for more speedrunning related content, and as always, I hope you have a beautiful life.
Why you always hate to break bread? Think about the way that you would feel if never said. Joke's on you, it's time to undo. Well, if she had to choose me